Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Richard Waring, and I'm running the PoemWorks reading series, the workshop for publishing poets. We've been around for quite a while, and I like to begin with quotes usually, but tonight, in great sadness, I'm going to read a poem by Charles Coe, who we recently lost. He had gone in for prostate cancer, to have his prostate removed, went home, and a couple of days later suffered a heart attack and died. It's bemoaned by a wide community of people. And next month, on January 2nd, our reading series will be a celebration of his work. So anyone that would like to read one of his poems or tell a story, I'll also have a few film clips of him. So we hope to have a joyful recognition of all the people he touched and the various organizations he worked with. For now, I'm going to read a poem called Butt Dialing Jesus. There was a time when voices emanating from my pants would have caused concern. But now I simply shrugged and pulled out my phone to hear a recording. You have reached the Son of God. I am currently speaking with another supplicant. But please hold. Your salvation is important to me. This was followed by music. I expected celestial choruses, or maybe an elevator-friendly version of My Sweet Lord, but was instead treated to acoustic Delta blues guitar, interrupted after a few minutes by the voice of he himself, greeting me by name and asking me how he could serve. I was startled. Didn't expect to actually get through. Um, what's the one true religion? I asked, flustered, just to have something to say. All of them, he replied. None of them. I was taken aback. What? That's it? That's it, he said. Follow the golden rule. Leave the campground cleaner than you found it. Anything else? I have a lot of people on hold. I had nothing and mumbled my thanks. He said, Go in peace, and broke the connection. I put down the phone and stared out the window. The guy across the street was clearing snow off his sidewalk. Never really liked that dude, but I grabbed my shovel to go lend a hand. Well, tonight we have two wonderful features. We have Natalie Russ and Kate Wallace Rogers. Kate Wallace Rogers has always been a poet, writer, and performer. She loved the languages and accents she heard daily on the street in New York City and grew up parroting them. Kate has written and performed poetry around Cape Cod since the late 1990s, when she was a member of the Workshop for Publishing Poets. Recently, Kate enjoyed getting back to her PoemWorks roots, writing with Alexis Ivy's workshop online and visiting Montpellier with Alexis, Eric, Poppy, and the gang this past summer. Kate's work has appeared or is forthcoming in Lily Poetry Review, P. Towney, The Wayfarer, Cape Cod to Nova Scotia, Art, Ecology, Poetry of the Gulf of Maine, and elsewhere. Kate had the honor of taking care of Poet Laureate Stanley Kunitz's fabulous garden. She lives in Provincetown, where she sells her illustrated poetry, her partner's art, and overalls at their Radiance Art Gallery, where she is right now. Swimming in the ocean year-round inspires and refreshes Kate, preserving her, she hopes, like a native salted cod. Please welcome Kate. You got to unmute.
You muted.
There you
Hi.
go.
You mind seeing both? I don't
Wow.
know. There's a way.
You were
I
being
can stand on my
duplicated
own
into
voice.
infinity.
That's okay. Okay. All right. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for the people in the room. Great, dear friends. And this is the sort of thing that I do in the gallery. I have these illustrated poems. And this poem, Surrender, is my sort of like my artist statement. Surrender. Everything falls in place, just as I awaken, the author of my space. Spilled ink blue windows open and overflowing, a flush of saffron light soaks my skin, so sure all I need to do is write. It's all there is left. I'm breaking down to my last thin dime, my 2 cents, my 5 senses, fragmented sentences stacked up like cairns, marking the Tao, the way I may live this journey today. I will live on love of stones, see through the eyes of goldenrod and seals and wind, comb the dunes for berries, rose hips, mushrooms, walk the sand for clams, pick the rocks for mussels and I ams. Da 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 da. I am not what I fear. The rising tide, the shark fin near. No need to explain the lure of shadows, how my words swim around footprints. I own my shame. How do you do? Why compare me to whomever as if I could be something I'm not? No more trying to fit in, to be that other, mother, lover, brother. Just stay in this space of creative conviction, convinced I am all I need to be. To love the real me, the one who lives relentlessly, the one who loves relentlessly. Tell me, what else could I do? Whom else could I surrender to?
Girl.
Oh my goodness. The second poem that I'm going to do tonight is also an illustrated poem. I'm not sure it'll come out in, oh yeah, there you go. I wrote this one about the village or an experience that I had in a writing retreat with Sara Epstein, who's in that little square over there. And it was an incredible time about, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago. And it has a couple of words that you may or may not be familiar with. One is Zapotec, and that's the native who lives near Oaxaca. And it mentions tule trees, which are these huge 3,000-year-old cedar trees that are as big as a cathedral.
Wow.
And there's probably something else in there, but who cares? All right. Teotitlan del Valle. Oh, I know. They make rugs there. There are a lot of artisans all around. They make rugs that are incredible. Teotitlan del Valle. Children dream in turtle patterns. Scorpions, clouds, and tule trees weave into rugs here below Monte Sagrada, where the rain brings limping chocolate dogs that melt into shadows. I wait for the rooster, my suitcase full of tears. A curandera rubs me naked with marigolds, of trellises sway with hallucinations of bougainvillea. Who will tear out this warp, this tempo of perpetual howl? I understand enough of her language to flesh out what isn't said. In the marketplace, the piebald Zapotec weaves dandelion wool. Pecan shells stain the sky off-white green. The woman in the last stall, whose son carves armadillos, monkeys, and Bugs Bunny into the surface of gourds, crosses herself before touching the change poured from my hand.
Mm. Wow.
Nice.
Thanks. So the next poem I'm going to read is called Generations, and it's about the northern bayberry, which is something that you find all up and down the coast of the Gulf of Maine. And this is something that's going to appear in that book with a long title that Richard mentioned. It's a great compilation that's coming out in the spring, I think. Generations. Kneeling between tracings of compass grass, I peel a clump of a dozen berries, a droop, rub the candleberries between my fingers, the thin coating stubbly, gray-blue, until only a tiny hard seed is left. The wax releases a fleeting, piney booze tang. I feel called to boil down these berries for their wax, dip tapers patiently in austere Puritan fashion. But the thousands I'd have to forage for a candle or two seems daunting, absurd. I imagine my grandmother's knobby fingers twisting smooth olive tapers into brass candlesticks. But even she, Mayflower proud, bought hers at Colonial Candles of Cape Cod. Goldenrod light swims through branches as I crouch in the hummock, scanning the dunes, swales, and hollows, flush with glances of green, and swallows, symphonies, lift, crescendi, filling dune skies. I cannot hold a candle to such generosity.
Hmm. Nice.
Richard, keep an eye on the time for me, okay?
Yeah, you're doing great.
Okay. So the next couple are poems that I wrote in France this past summer. And so the next one, oh, actually, that's a lie. I'm going to read something called Symbiosis, which sort of takes the generations and walks it down the street to the beech forest. It starts with this quote from Clara Estes: "The doors to the world of the wild self are few but precious," from Alexis's class. After so long visiting with Mother Earth, months, seasons, years, what have I learned? Compared to all I have forgotten, I take a walk out of the house into the woods, head into the winds, to remind my body where my soul lives. This soul I share with the bears, the leaves and their trees, all the webs that weave below my feet, mycelium, rhizomorphs, tendrils between her earth's core, crust, and me. I bend down to listen, detaching, swaying, seeking peace, the smell of life failing, falling to pieces, decaying. I recycle my verbs, break up, and then maybe, Mother, may we begin again.
Ooh, girl, you are something.
All right.
Agreed.
This is The Sun Speaks, written in France.
Mm.
You may have seen my work in the glossy patina, patent leather of the eggplant, aubergine, as I like to call her. Sometimes I am too generous with my love, yet I am so beautiful. How could I suppress my radiance? She loved my pressure, my dominance, appreciates how I sublimate her, though I must also treat her tenderly and not always shine so fiercely. I can be exceptionally closed, hide for days. I can be angry and sad at the same time. I have painted her with such lush purple strokes. Her kind, they bruise where you wouldn't notice. She looks so shiny, almost greasy. When the farmer notices her deflated below her tough green crown, he says, tant pis, too bad, too bad, knowing her taut skin held so many screams, seeds inside. Another poem from France. I place a pair of red cellophane, it's called Prophecy. I place a pair of red cellophane fish in the palm of my perseveration. Watch them curl away from each other like looping tendrils of hair. Their spell holds me taut, fascinating as the patch bark of sycamores and their knuckles. I lay my hands across my belly, stretched with history like a peach pit, to see if the screams inside my little girl body will rise to meet your hands on my skin. My shames will lie across the surface of the lake, roll onto the sunlit water, and shimmer away. So a couple more. Is that good or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Please.
All right. So this one is called Mistranslation of the Lover. So one of the things that we do in France is we take poems that are in French, and whether or not you actually know how to speak French, you just read the poem, we listen to the poem being read, and then whatever it sounds like to you, you write your translation of whatever that might be. So if you know a little French, you might stick in a few words. If you know a little, if you hear a couple of words that sound familiar, you might use those. And it really doesn't matter what you write at all. So I'm going to read this poem called L'Amoureuse by Paul Éluard. And I'll give you the big hint. L'amoureuse is the lover. So I'll read it first in French and then read a quick translation, and then I'm going to read my mistranslation. L'amoureuse by Paul Éluard. Elle est debout sur mes paupières et ses cheveux sont dans les miens. Elle a la forme de mes mains, elle a la couleur de mes yeux. Elle s'engloutit dans mon ombre comme une pierre sur le ciel. Elle a toujours les yeux ouverts et ne me laisse pas dormir. Ses rêves en pleine lumière font s'évaporer les soleils, me font rire, pleurer et rire, parler sans avoir rien à dire. So the actual translation, and I've lost the name of the person who translated it. Sorry about that. She stands upon my eyelids, and her hair is in my hair. She has the shape of my hands. She has the color of my eyes, and she is swallowed by my shadow like a stone against the sky. She keeps her eyes open all of the time, and she will never allow me to sleep. Her dreams in broad daylight make the sun evaporate, make me laugh, cry, laugh, make me speak when I have nothing to say.
Mm.
And this is my mistranslation. My hairs coil in her tiny curls, and my arm splayed under her pillow is still asleep up to the shoulder. She wears nothing but my handprints. She is a glutton for my shadow, even when I am a rock falling from the sky. Her eyes host midnight art openings. She snores, and her dreams incense around living color. They don't allow me to sleep. I wake to see her through the moats and gulls and floaters. Every morning she swims in the color of my eyes. She wakes to make me laugh, cry, and our laughter washes away oceans of worries. and I am grateful for her and this brand new day.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yay. That's crazy, that infinity business. Thank you, and I'm going to try to get out of the way. Is that all right?
That was great. Thank you so much. Up next, we have Natalie Russ, who is a psychologist practicing in the Boston area and an activist on the issue of harm in psychotherapy. She's been a member of the PoemWorks community for 13 years, with recent work appearing in Free State Review, Atlanta Review, Sugar House Review, and Unleashed Lit. Her nearly completed manuscript explores themes of psychotherapy from both therapist, client, and harmed client perspectives. Please welcome Natalie. You need to unmute.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I was saying tough act to follow,
Mm.
but at least I've got the overalls. So because of who I am as a person, I have decided to give you the option to follow along visually if you would like to do so. So I'm going to put a link into the chat to a Google Doc with the poems. And if you, like me, process better when you can have both auditory and visual input, you will have that option available to you now.
Very cool.
These poems are from my almost completed first manuscript, only taking me a decade to complete. Manuscript called Transference, and shout out to Alexis, who is helping me with that. Richard, this timed out to about 17 minutes when I practice, but you should feel free to stop me when you would like.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay. First one's called Bright Shadow. Why is the moon following us? I ask my dad from the back seat. Following like a dog when you have a treat in your pocket. The moon glides across the open night above the field, skimming the pointy tops of trees and telephone poles, playing tag with our car, a hovering nightlight, never dropping pace. That's an optical illusion, he tells me, because it's so far away. Funny, I thought following is what things do to stay close. For being so far, it sure keeps up.
Mm-hmm.
Session in my car. Because her fire alarm won't turn off, we come out to the parking lot. She gets into my passenger seat. I take my shoes off, like I always do in therapy. Someone from her practice leaves the building, gets into an electric car, bundled and small. She looks like a Christmas cookie, my therapist remarks. We laugh together. Now we have an inside joke. We've both laid eyes on a third party outside the office. I don't know why she said she thought of me while putting blueberries into her Vitamix this morning. I'm parked next to her car. I see her towel hanging over the passenger headrest. I know she swims a ton. I've asked her where. Different ponds, was her answer, not telling me exactly where, of all the things to withhold. I can smell my feet in this confined space. I'll be ashamed of this for weeks.
Hmm.
After learning the death drive in psychoanalysis class. At 80 miles per hour, I pass a dead owl next to the median. Another owl, and I wonder if they're owls at all. Beige underwing fluff flipped rigger stiff by the rushing belt of highway. By the third, I'm wondering why they're dead, skipping song to song on Bluetooth. The owls keep coming, far enough apart for me to be unhabituated. I go by 4 Harleys under an overpass, gray-haired bikers huddled out of the rain. I have always been drawn to the tenderness of men. I'm glad to see they're in agreement on their vulnerability to the elements. No need to get damp and chilled. Let's tend to ourselves. Could be a long ride. Does aging feel like those old cartoons? At the end, the picture narrows until it's just a pinprick and then it's gone, leaving a black screen where the words "the end" scroll out in cursive. Every book I pick up, I long to have over with. Can't help but read the last page early and often to escape my place in the story. I kill the book a little, make it easier to bear throughout, try to live a little less. I hope I forget the disturbing things first. Horror movie scenes I've recalled since middle school, the biggest bugs I've had to kill. Where will they go? The disappointments, injuries, heartbreaks, funerals, once they're too forgotten to hurt. If you lose loss itself, will every moment be in front of you? I ride the left lane like a train, inevitably carrying me to my lonesome couch where I'll write the dead birds down, how they would have flown all night.
Hmm.
Message to my baby brother who died.
Hmm.
You've done it. You've lived a life. 3 full days. It took no trying. You may not have stolen any of my ice cream sandwiches or been given any of my macaroni picture frames, but you've looked around, touched another person, someone who's learned, grown, picked fruit and flowers, blades of grass, someone who's been cruel and loving all at once, who's ridden a merry-go-round, the music and the colors, wild-eyed horses with saddles that gleam under the lights, the movement, the rapture, the futility. You were just as alive without any of it. You did what you came for the moment you arrived. The rest is just what it's like to be here.
Hmm. Wow.
Long distance. On planes, I always think of therapy. Overnight flight home from the Pacific Northwest, squeezed into my seat, the man next to me watches Ferris Bueller. He was friendly during boarding, greeted the whole row, and now is my companion for the next few hours. I immerse myself in these fast intimacies, these endearments, the moments of contact I collect in a pool within me. Stuck in my chair, trying to get somewhere, there's no way out of it now, so I allow myself to be moved. Last night, before we said goodbye, I went to a baseball field to lie under the dark Oregon sky, Pendleton beneath us, holding hands. Looking up, I thought, is this what emptiness looks like from below? Even on this flight, I'm not beyond the gravity that holds me, can't reach somewhere directionless, where everything would be both easy and therefore impossible. The next few poems are all in different forms. This one is in the form of a palindrome, and the early version of this poem was written on the 2018 PoemWorks trip to Newfoundland.
Hmm.
Moment at the Cliffs. I never learned to love within. The cliff, fog, foghorn, lamenting like a shofar. Seagulls preen each other, make visible there you are's. The urge to jump comes over me. What would I feel over the side of the cliff? Hands grasping for gravity. I cling. I must. Water rushes in, foam of turbulent waves, electric blue. My breath rising uphill like a whale, turning the earth modest. I look. The lighthouse looks back. The lighthouse looks back, modest. I look like a whale turning the earth blue. My breath rising uphill in foam of turbulent waves electric. I cling. I must. Water rushes, hands, grasping for gravity over the side of the cliff, over me. Why did I feel the urge to jump? Come, make visible there you are's. Seagulls preen each other, lamenting. Like a shofar, the cliff, fog, foghorn. I never learned to love within.
Hmm. Wow.
This poem is in the form of a sonnet, and it's called Sisyphus Goes to Therapy. I feel bad even mentioning this, but I've been feeling worried by a thought that I keep trying to dismiss but never can. It just keeps getting caught inside the looping racetrack of my mind. It's this. What if I'll never quite arrive to true catharsis, forever confined to striving up this hill? It takes such drive, legs throbbing, forced resolve gripping my body, arms pushing, endlessly outstretched. So could you, this therapy, unburden me? This is the work, you tell me, as you should. We're out of time. The climb is never over, and I'll go on. No place to put this boulder. This poem is in the form of a pantoum. Apology to my parents. I'm sorry I have to write a poem about you, about how it really was. I wasn't born this way. A poem about you. I do still believe I wasn't born this way in our family, our mythology. I do still believe our greatness in our family, our mythology. If you'd like, I can make our greatness into a metaphor. If you'd like, I can make a maple tree growing into a metaphor in shade, all my limbs a maple tree growing, bending, reaching in shade, all my limbs towards the sun, bending, reaching. I had to give myself shape towards the sun. I'm sorry I have to write. I had to give myself shape about how it really was.
Wow.
This one is in the form of an abecedarian, which is a form in which the first letter of each line follows sequentially through the alphabet, which will make more sense if you're looking at it visually.
Yes.
It's called the ABCs of Starting Therapy. Apologize for being a few minutes late. Be honest on the intake form. Sign the consent without reading. This would be dangerous if not for the trust you must embody immediately at the start. Unfold yourself for caretaking. This is how you grow. You enable the therapist to heal you. No, you heal yourself, but with indispensable guidance. You do it, just not actually yourself. It's not you, the knowing you need, not the regard, love, no, not love, care. What missed you in your younger life, contact never felt. You won't feel it on this couch. You will feel those precise needs that went unmet. The question you were never asked. In your rightful longing, you will sense what was always missing. Transference, it's called, unless it's still missing. Therapist vividly empathic across the wide, hugless room. Enter Xanax, prescribed for your tender youngest inner child, opening a mindful Zen coloring book, wondering, what now? This one I wrote on a PoemWorks trip to Split Rock Cove in Maine, Sandy's place.
Yes.
I pick up a piece of sea glass on the Maine coast. I could close my hand around you, hide your blue-green completely, though I choose reverence, keep palm open. A grounding object, weight to thumb, but you're not here to be mine. I won't take you with me. I'll just be here too, rolling in the fury of the world. Heavier than I'd expect from a former bottom of a bottle, you picked up some heft in the tumble. How did you break? For what were you broken? Now made benign by uncountable crashes into cove, you have no enemy, every blow just part of the majestic polish. Both translucent and opaque, you feel like that little leap of terror that underpins awe.
Mm. Yes.
Few more, Richard?
Yes, please.
This must be part of the work. We remain intact like dryer lint rolling off the mesh grate in one compressed, weightless sheet, flirting with disintegration. There's a way to do this, a way to peel a clementine without creating breakages or filaments, without getting fragrant orange under your nails. I'm talking about finesse. Part of the work in therapy must be this near constant threat of disillusion, the desperate craft to maintain every inch of me with its own needs. Like with sunscreen, I cover my back proficiently, but if I miss the thin strip at the top of my thigh where the bathing suit grooves into the crease, rubbing off protection, the flesh will blossom bright crimson in the shower that night. When I leave this session, go out beyond this room into the entire world where I can only go without you, some of me turns up burnt. This one is in the form of a villanelle.
Mm.
My first client speaks. I took the pill as I was told at bedtime. As I shut off the light, I knew I wouldn't wake up consoled. I want the medicine to find every fold, like an antidote, searching for the bite. I took the pill as I was told, so it should work as it was sold, a balm coursing through the night. I knew I wouldn't wake up consoled, every one of my stories still untold, beneath my ribs, aching and tight. I took the pill as I was told, and now I have to wait, have to hold on for 6 more weeks, stay polite, though I know I won't yet be consoled. Still so long till soothing unfolds, till my gut ungrips, giving back my appetite. I took the pill as I was told. One day, will I wake up consoled?
Mm. Yeah. Wow.
And this is my last poem for the evening. It's called How to Not Be Scared. Think of all the creatures evolution never created. The universe took this long to make you. It can't unmake you now. Notice parsley on the counter, yellowing like autumn. Catch the moment streetlights flick on, beginning their midnight guard. Watch how inky sunsets get from forest fire particulate. Interference makes beauty. Glance up at the moon. There are footsteps there too. Gaze at the Milky Way, stemming your arms like flowers towards all that light. Your heart doesn't need your help to beat. Whatever happens, make it a poem. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Wow. That last poem reminds me of what I often say, that life gives you material. But please, Lord, sometimes when it's a medical emergency or something, a little less material would be nice. Well, we have certainly been on a number of coasts and continents. This has been really wonderful. We have several open mic poets who will begin to read, starting with Jonathan Aibel.
Indeed, that's me. Wow. It is a hard act to follow, both of you. Quite great performances and readings. So I decided to bring a poem from Montelou myself, just to join in the crowd.
Hmm.
Europa crosses Canal du Midi. Naked on his back, waters 2 meters deep. Roses on his horns, her hand clasps the air. Idiot angels dance, timbrel, and flowers celebrate an abduction. A large white vessel, bull forward, boat wave drapes as a cape, fingers gently spread, stiffening bones. He does not look at her as water spills through single, double, triple locks. At one, the left gate swings freely. The right is stuck, her legs wrapped about round his body, his eyes lightning, a bull's purr, an elephant rumble. A pattern unfolds, joyful in its stretch, currents of unseen cooling. Cicada, cicada thrum. He will make her. She doesn't know it yet. Queen of a foreign island, mother to sons as thoughtless and wayward as the father. Folded skin, turn her hand, turn his head. She looks back, splits the water. The clouds, the angels still dance. A marriage then, a tax and salt, a fortune exhausted digging the canal. Green reed flags tremble and bow. A thunderstorm carries her, all that she's leaving.
Wow. I don't remember that happening, but glad that it happened to you. Up next, please welcome John Engstrom.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Um, Thanks to the two featured poets for being so great and captivating. The poem I have here is by me, and its title is There is a Tide. There is a tide in the memories of an avocado. Avocat is a word which sounds like avocado, but is actually a French word for lawyer. When you advocate for a cause or person, you represent them. Advocacy means for a word to sound like avocado. And just what is so vegetable-like about a lawyer anyway?
I love it. I love it. Reminds me of my Toastmaster days when we had a word for the day, and my word was apricot, which also stems from precocious, because
Uh,
the apricot ripens earliest of all tree fruit.
oh, wow.
Very cool.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sure. Thanks for letting me read.
Up next, please welcome Sara Epstein.
Okay, hi everybody. It's so great to be here. I'm so happy I remembered to come. And I just want to preface this by saying that, I published a book 2.5 years ago, and since then I have not been writing poetry. The muse abandoned me, but in the last week I've written 4 poems, so I'm back.
Awesome.
Yeah, so this is one of those poems. Hi, Jonathan. I saw you waving. This plate is for you. I think it's your color. Blue, ocean blue on a sunny day with a wisp of clouds. I made it, as you might guess, in the class I found, my occupational therapy. It took me a while. I'm coming to accept the next steps, my slip sliding journey, chutes and ladders, lemons and lemonade. As I think and listen to the adage about when you get lemons, you can make lemonade, I try reversing it. When I am down, I feel more like lemonade.
Mm,
Liquid, sour, trying to be sweet. Pulp, swirling around with no place to go. I'm aiming for lemon, thick-skinned and useful, juicy and bright.
wow. Welcome back. Awesome.
Thank you.
And now here is Carla Schwartz.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Um, so you read the poem about Charles Coe, and Charles Coe was a dear friend of mine.
Mm, yeah.
And so as soon as I heard he died, I wrote several poems. But anyway, this is one, the first one that came out.
Mm,
Our collective grief for Charles Coe.
mm,
The problem with being friend to all is when you die, when we learn through the offhand Insta scroll of your being gone, such an oxymoron, of your isn't-ness over and over, as you were so much more than just friend to one. We can't grieve alone. Climb from the wreckage you urged in one poem about grief. Oh, Charles, there is no wreckage of you, only a wreckage of us, a landscape we must learn to stagger up from and move through, a landscape from which your humor, your wisdom, the warm soup of you was
mm.
swallowed in an instant, as if by a sinkhole. What can we do with our tears but sing, cry out, and one day find, as you would have, the perfect punchline to a joke about how much we miss you? Wait, I'm not done, because this is a Haydn. Reading your poems, Our Breath on the Window.
Mm. Ah, thank you so much.
Thank
As
you.
in the words of Eric Hyatt, even a wounded bird can sing, and you have done that.
Thank you. That means so much.
And now, please welcome Alexis Ivy.
Well, I didn't know what was happening next month, so I had brought a poem that Charles co-wrote that really, it's my favorite poem of his that I've read. So I was just gonna read that.
Sure.
It's called Night Birds. A young woman lies in the moonlight along the banks of a river whose name she does not know, head resting on a coat balled into a pillow, sleepless, ears talking in the sound around her, sighs and snores and quiet conversations, an old man's tired, dry cough blending with a baby's cry, night birds whose call remind her of the home she left behind. She lies in the dark, remembering a place she knows she will never see again, the village where she laughed and played as a child, where now men with automatic rifles swarm the streets like stone-faced farmers who sow only blood and tears. Her body aches from a day riding atop a northbound freight train, El Tren de la Muerte, where those who lose their grip tumble to earth, often to their death, while the train, like some blind, mindless animal, rumbles on. But in spite of everything she has seen, she still believes in the power of prayer. So she prays to remain invisible to the men from the drug cartels who sell those they kidnap into forced labor and prostitution. She prays for a home with a warm bed. She prays that there is goodness still to be found in this world, that those she meets at the end of this long journey will be generous and kind. And in the moment before sleep comes at last, the night birds at the river's edge add their songs to her prayer.
Wow. Boy, the imprint of Charles's influence and the wealth of reach is just stunning and just keeps expanding as we hear more. Thank you. And now, please welcome Rick Reibstein.
Thank you. And a lot of really great poetry tonight. A beekeeper without bees. I'm a beekeeper without bees. I mean, whatever's buzzing in my brain. I want to keep and nurture that. I'm an acorn gatherer without acorns. I mean, the amazing seeds of oakish thoughts that fall in the wild woods of me. I am that light darting like a spirit on the water. I am riding that dragonfly. I dated that pretty female loon before I changed back to the man who walks this dusty road. I can be and have so much if I am not so much me. I am for a moment this place where I will enter the water, which will make me part of it.
I am just so fixated on riding the dragonfly. Really love to do that. Thank you, Rick. And now please welcome Connemara Wadsworth.
Thank you for your patience, Richard. The computer is not my friend, so I apologize to people whose poems I did not hear. But I'll listen to the rerun.
Excellent.
Newborn. You were born in a labor as primal as any animal or child. In the wearying hours of pain, I wondered why you would give up the safety of incubation where all was freely given while you rolled and grew silently in your uterine pool. Maybe it should be my uterine pool. Always warm, never hungry, born wearing your lifeline, your root at your throat like a fat necklace. You, wide-eyed, objecting to bright lights, cold air until you were wrapped and warm. I held you, knowing I'll cradle you, and in time, your body, your mind, searching and drawn to other intentions, to go wider, deeper. And now you've gone through that door. I remain awed by your capacities. So much is determined, unwritten. No longer do I drive you to the 5 a.m. bus to ski mountains that still test you. I see how your daughters learn from you. They too will fledge and make their own way.
Marvelous. Wow. Thank you, Connemara.
Anytime. Anytime I can get through the computer.
It makes me think of my daughter's yet to be born, my first granddaughter.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
nice.
Coming in March. Stay tuned. Probably some poems will result, no doubt.
I would be horrified if there weren't.
Here is a poem from the Annals of Montpellier in France called Carcassonne Castle. I am a mighty fortress, red as my clay surroundings. My river runs strong, birthing arched bridges. Tree, boat, fishing hook, flask. I was made in the mouth of time, forged in battle, overrun and rebuilt time and again. Green runs through me. Sky dwells in the water's upturned face. I am sunlight, leaf litter, drawn and watered. I am sturdy and forsaken, depending. You are welcomed or repelled, depending. I am best in spring when birds build nests, all plentiful. I allow loafing. Each day is sovereign, open to picnicking. There is never too much wine. I will go down in history. When danger arrives, as it does, I am the last to surrender.
Hmm.
Well, what a wonderful evening indeed. Thank you all so much. This has been a very heartwarming experience on a very cold winter night, getting below freezing. Stay warm, everyone. And any final remarks? Let's have a round of applause for our featured poets and everyone else.
And for you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Richard.
Yeah, thank you, Richard and Natalie and Kate and everyone else.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks
Bye.
everybody. This was a lovely evening.
Thank you very, very much. So great to see all of you. I don't think I've seen Connemara in 20 years. Yay.
At
Kate,
least.
Kate, I want your phone number.
Okay. You can get it from Richard.
Yes, you can get it from Richard.
And Connemara, this will be up on the YouTube site in a couple of days.
Okay.
All
I
right.
won't try tonight because
Excellent.
then I'll think that the computer's still against me.
I look forward to more Charles soon.
Yes.
Yes, he has earned it.
January 2nd, we can grieve
January 2nd.
in company. All right.
Thank you all
Be
so
well,
much.
everyone.
Maybe we
Take care.
should people should try to get rides with each other because parking will be difficult.
Well, are you
We'll
talking about next month?
whatever they are.
It's going to be on Zoom. It'll be our next PoemWorks reading.
Oh, how awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But there are
parking
other
got it.
events happening though that
Yeah,
will require in-person visits. So
right.
let's stay
Well,
posted.
I live in Belmont. If somebody will need a ride, let me know.
Excellent.
Thank you,
Take care,
Richard.
everyone. Good night.
Good night.